Hi guys, I'm pro saxophonist Jamie Anderson. You're watching Get Your Sax Together, and today it's all about this. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to crack those horrific left-hand pinky keys. We all love saxophone, but let's be honest, there's some things about sax which just drive you bonkers. Palm keys and left-hand table pinky keys, the left-hand spatula keys, they're sometimes called. These things drive you bonkers on sax. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that are really going to change the game for you with that left-hand pinky, the dreaded left-hand pinky. Just before we get straight into the lesson though, go and grab my free 1-hour saxophone success masterclass using the URL there. That covers a whole load of stuff about technique, how to get the most out of your practice sessions, and lots more I haven't got time to tell you about. So the link is in the description. Just click down there. You'll get free access to that workshop if you haven't seen it already. It's a belter, so go and check it out. Now let's crack on with the lesson. Okay, I'm really going to smash through this stuff, but you are going to learn everything you need to know about this dreaded left-hand pinky. So let's talk about these 4 keys down here, these 4 pinky keys. Of course, you've got G sharp, you've got C sharp, you've got B, and you've got B flat, and that one tilts down. Some of the mechanics are different on different saxophones. You see that there's the bar there that connects those two things. I'm actually not enough of a repair guy to tell you the exact mechanics of this system, but they're the problem, those four notes: G sharp, C sharp, B, and B flat. Now, as you know, saxophones have these built-in rollers which are supposed to make it easy to move your pinky around. They certainly don't make it easy, but they might make it easier. Right, first of all, the very important precursor to the lesson is that if your wrist is what I call a beaver paw, your pinky is miles away from the key. That's beaver, look, I can hardly even reach it. If you drop your wrist, your pinky is already hovering perfectly there. So that is the first point. You need to drop your left wrist, which is also going to make your palm key playing easier, and then your pinky is in position for those low keys. If your wrist is too high, you're going to be struggling from the very start. So make sure that your wrist position is correct before you move on. Let's have a quick look at the mechanics of these keys. As you can see, there's rollers on there, and they kind of are supposed to help life when you're moving your pinky around this area. I say supposed to because, let's be honest, it doesn't make it much easier, does it? When you're trying to move around, it doesn't really make it much easier. However, it does make it easier for one thing, and that is when you're going up, when you're going from B flat up to B, or B up to C sharp, or B flat up to C sharp. These rollers mean that you can pull your pinky, pull it back. You can even pull it up to the C sharp. You can pull these notes, and that makes life a lot easier technique-wise when you're just able to pull your pinky back. The real problem comes when you're going down, and there's 3 different things that you have to, there's 3 different ways that you can go down using your left pinky. One is from C sharp to B, one is from C sharp to B flat, and one is from B to B flat. There's 3 different moves which you have to master, and there's 2 techniques for that. Let's talk about C sharp to B first. Now, to do this is very hard because the tip of your pinky will jam. It will tend to jam into the edge of that B key. So what you need to do is, normally you'd have your wrist lovely and dropped, but when you're playing C sharp to B, bring your elbow out and straighten your pinky so that you can roll it over without that curve. See that curve? That's going to dig your pinky tip into the B key, and you're going to get snagged. It's going to make it really hard to do. So specifically when you're going from C sharp to B, raise your wrist up, lift your elbow out, and straighten your pinky, and look. See how the tip of my pinky is already raised, so it just glides onto that B key nicely. So that is my hot tip. You kind of, you make like a chicken. You literally have to make like a chicken with that elbow. Your elbow goes out, boom, and you can slide that pinky across from C sharp to B. So that's the first technique. Now, I know it does give you a bit of a beaver paw, but let's call it a momentary It's a momentary beaver paw, which makes that one specific move from the C sharp to the B a lot easier. Okay, great. Now let's talk about going from B to B flat or C sharp to B flat. Now, here's a cool technique. I call it the wrist hinge. What you're going to do is you're going to anchor the tip of your pinky onto the key. Like, let's say we're doing B to B flat first. You anchor the tip of your pinky there, and then you just throw your wrist down, and the flat part of your pinky hits the B flat key, like that. Up, down, up, down. You see all my fingers are moving as well. My wrist is dropping really low. And you can also do that from C sharp to B flat. See how I'm throwing, and actually it's this part of my pinky that is pushing on the B flat key. So C sharp to B flat, B to B flat. And remember the other technique, C sharp to B, C sharp to B flat, C sharp to B, B to B flat. So if you're going C sharp, B to B flat, you would be going C sharp, out, B, down. See? Two different techniques. And you really throw your pinky over there. It takes quite a leap of faith to make that happen. So let's just give you a quick playing demo of going from C sharp to B and going from C sharp to B flat or B to B flat. Here we go. So now you can see how that works. Now, a few disclaimers. I don't know if this is received classical saxophone technique. You know, if the classical saxophone geniuses like Wally Wallace will probably be on my case right now saying, oh, that's dreadful. But that's what I do, and it works. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it works. The second thing is I've got a very hot tip, which you might not know. Some of my students know this, and that is and that is a very funny thing, which you're just going to have to trust me on, which is everyone has a certain amount of grease on their skin. Now, if you take your left pinky and you just wipe the inside, you know, just where your nose meets your face there, you will get some grease on the tip of your pinky. This is a flute player's trick. And then when you go to move around these keys, it's already lubed up because you've got the grease from your pinky. Now, if you're in the middle of a solo, you're not going to stop and do this and then play it, obviously. But if you're playing something and you know that passage is coming up, just, you know, grease up your pinky and then it'll just shoot around those keys much more easily. So there's one hot tip. Now here's the second tip, which you may or may not know, which is that behind that G sharp key, there are two little plates which go underneath the other three keys. Now this means that you can play a G sharp on sax with any of these other three keys. So there's a G sharp normal fingering, and then you can play a G sharp like that, you can play a G sharp like that, or you can play a G sharp like that. And that is useful if you have to go from a G sharp to a low C sharp, or a G sharp to a low B, or a G sharp to a low B flat. You just play the G sharp with the low note key and then put your right hand fingers down. Check it out. Again, you might not know when you have a G sharp to C sharp coming up if you're improvising. However, that is a really cool tip to remember. So there's everything that I know about using your left hand pinky on sax, and I hope it's very useful for you. That's all I've got for you this week. Hopefully those tips will really help you when you're trying to get around that gnarly area of the saxophone and improve your saxophone technique. Hey, if you bought me a coffee using the link there, I really, really appreciate it. You guys are so kind, and it really keeps me going on these little coffees. It really means a lot to me, so thank you so much. And if you feel like you're getting good value from these lessons, hey, get down there, buy me a coffee. Can't have too much caffeine. As I mentioned earlier, you can get your free Saxophone Success Masterclass using the link there and the link in the description. That's a pretty cool free gift. And until next week, practice hard, practice smart, and enjoy your music, y'all.